Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello fam, welcome back to our channel. If you check our feed very earlier in the day, we carried a video where the Nigerian High Commission in Ghana was demolished, and the staffers there actually said that the demolition took place quite in the wee hours of the morning, as in 1 a.m. The bulldozers came and all that, and there's been protests going on in Ghana where they've been shouting they can't breathe, the Nigerian can't breathe in Ghana and all that. And Onyema has reacted. That's a minister here in Nigeria has reacted that it's not nice, it's uncalled for. And finally, of course, the Ghanaian government has also reacted to the demolition. Now, at the early hours of the day, when we covered the news, some persons said it was armed bandits and all, but we knew that it wasn't armed bandits because from the reliable source we got, they said it was a land dispute. Check our video. We actually explained what actually transpired. Now, the Ghanaian government have apologized, and according to the news here, it says the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Ghana has apologized to the Nigerian government after the Building Housing High Commission staff was demolished in the early hours of this morning. Officials will be visiting the High Commission tomorrow, that's on Monday, to assess the damage done to the property. The plot of land in question houses the High Commissioner's residence and 4 other buildings. It was ceded to the Nigerian government in the 60s. Okay? A portion of the land had remained undeveloped until 8 years ago when the building works began. That is what is the dire subject of contention now, by a businessman who says he is the legitimate owner of that portion of land. Sometime in 2000, official correspondence was exchanged between Presidents Olusegun Obasanjo and Jerry Rawlings of Ghana. Then, they were both the president. Jerry Rawlings was for Ghana, and while Olusegun Obasanjo was for Nigeria. And when that happened, there was issuance of ownership, and the whole ownership of the land was resolved, and the sum of 50 million Ghanaian cedis was paid then. Building works commenced on a portion of the land after all approvals were sought and obtained from regulatory bodies. Now I think it's a case of land grabbing. Okay, I think it's a case. But now the question now is, what will happen to the building? Who will take responsibility? Is it going to just be apologizing? Is it going to be a case of the young businessman should be, if you want to look at it properly, if there was no outcries, this is how it would have been just played down on. Nigerians have been protesting for hours now in Ghana. They've been protesting and protesting. They can't breathe and all that. I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty of what is happening in Nigeria here, but for the now, there's this general thing is don't spread your dirty learning in public, but we'll take care of our inner issues. But for the now, the issue that is happening in Ghana now, if thank God the Ghanaian government reacted, because if not, it would have been a case of no commission is secured. If somebody, an unknown man who is claiming that that's his land, can just wake up and demolish a high commission, a country's high commission, without prior notice. He didn't serve them notice. He didn't tell them anything. He just came at the middle of the night. Let's assume people were leaving, people were sleeping in that house. That's how he would have killed people. And this would have just been one of those things. I think the government of Ghana should do beyond apologizing. That's personal opinion now. They should go beyond apologizing. They should look beyond that and do the needful. But let's look at the press release, because the Ghanaian government actually gave a press release and saying Republic of Ghana, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration. Press release, it reads, it has come to the attention of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration that unidentified individuals had allegedly breached the premises of the Nigerian High Commission in Accra and demolished its property under construction around 10:30 p.m. on Friday, the 19th June 2020. Whereas the staffs said this demolition took place 1 a.m. in early hours of this morning. Let's continue. You can see a little disparity in both, testimonies. This one here is saying, I'm continuing with the press release. It said the ministry views with concern this development, which is a breach of the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, VCDR 1961. Accordingly, investigations are ongoing to unravel the facts of the matter and bring the perpetrators to book. Good. That's what we want to hear. Meanwhile, the government of Ghana has beefed up security at the said facility and the situation is under control. Whilst expressing regret over the incident, the ministry wishes to reassure the diplomatic community in Ghana and the Nigerian High Commission in particular that Ghana remains a law-abiding country that upholds the principles of the rule of law, where due process is followed at all times. The government will therefore not relent on its primary obligation to guarantee the safety of members of the diplomatic corps in Ghana. Now that is a good one. Very good if you ask me. Very, very good. But now, Nigerians have been saying they know that the president will not react. But, well, if the minister have reacted, I think he has reacted on behalf of the president of Nigeria. That's a good one coming from Ghana. But the question is, would truly the perpetrators be brought to book? Because honestly, we don't just want to hear it as audio. We're used to audio news. We want the videos. We want to see the man brought to book. We want to see we want everything. It was done openly, as the news went viral. I think the result of the investigation should also go viral to give Nigerians sense of belonging out there, and to also give foreigners in Ghana a sense of belonging. It will make foreigners safe in the land. Although one will say Nigeria is safe, but let's still look at what is on ground. We always look at Ghana as our brothers. I've never seen Ghana to me is like my brother. Ghanaians to me, they're like my brothers. I don't see them differently. So when I saw this going on, I felt very bad. But then I just felt, maybe it's the lackadaisical attitude of our government. That's why this, that's why this should find its way into the airspace. But then, if you look at the history of this whole story, it's just a case of land grabbing. Okay, if you watch the story, after getting this land in the 60s, okay, they left some part of this land undeveloped. So at some point, there was a resale of that land. Okay, so the man was so sure that that portion of that land was his. Okay, because he duly paid for it. Maybe they even gave him documentations to prove that he is the legitimate owner of that land. And yet, this same land was duly paid for in the early 1960s by the then president of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, fully paid for, documented. Which is why sometimes this issue of land grabbing and double selling of land, it causes a lot of issues. Now imagine, it almost would have cost the Nigerian diplomatic relationship. I think those who resold the land, because if you check it critically, the man was not, I would say he was right, okay, because he took laws into his hands. He would have written to the Ministry of Lands, okay, brought it to their notice that the High Commission have encroached into his land, and they would have probably checked their books and find out that that land probably was resold, and probably tell him that that land was already been paid for. It's not encumbered, but it has been paid for. So whoever you gave this money to, you better return those monies, then you better go and get your monies back or something. But it would have saved him a lot of stress. It would have saved the whole country so much noise here and there. But I feel that going forward, that this should be curbed as much as it can. Now, with all this, to sum up this whole thing, I think that damages should be paid for. I want to assume that the building, somebody's going to pay for it. Somebody's going to take the responsibility of replacing back all that was lost. Thank God no lives were lost. But that's how we're going to wrap it up. But this is good one coming from Ghanaian government. Kudos to you for stepping in, for maintaining diplomatic relationship. That's a thumb up from me to the Ghanaian government. But I think also they should do much more. They should compensate the High Commission here, not just compensating them, probably bring back the building to par where it was before, and bring the young man into book. Yes, he may be correct in the sense that maybe he bought the land truly, but no, he's wrong in taking laws into his hands, and no, he's so wrong in not doing proper due diligence buying lands. He would have probably gone to lands, works, housing and lands to find out if that land was encumbered, bought, or free. I think that's where he got it wrong. But that's what we're going to wrap it up. Let's meet in our conversation. What's your take on the apologies given by the Ghanaian government to Nigeria to uphold diplomatic relationship? And what's your take on the fact that Nigerians have been rampaging, going on the street protesting that Nigeria can't breathe in Ghana? I think you should come down to Nigeria and say Nigerians can't breathe in Nigeria, because honestly, we have our internal issues here. Let's meet in the comment section.